Crazy Nights podcast. What concerts would you like to see on the next coming Kissology number 4 as we talk on Crazy Nights? Hello, listeners. This is Jamie McNicol bringing you a weekly podcast here in Australia called Crazy Nights. And joining me from Melbourne, the Mad Hawthorn supporter, is David. How you going, David?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Jamie. Hello, listeners and viewers.
And I just want to do a quick couple of shout outs before we get running, Dave, on this week's topic. I want to give a
No
shout
worries,
out
mate.
to Kiss Army Australia for all the people that got involved on the Facebook page to vote for the name Crazy Nights. It was a very close call. It was only separated by 3 votes. I want to thank everyone. And also to the co-founder, Kathy Kaplis, who started Crazy Nights fan club back in the early 90s. Without their dedication and without their support, how they started their fan base, it has deceased now, but without their support and their recognition towards the Kiss, who also brought Kiss back to Australia after 15 years not touring our shores. Kathy, and to all the people that were involved with Crazy Night Fan Club, thank you, and we salute you. But just quickly, Dave, I want to give you the topic so you can talk just briefly
Yep.
on this week's topic. We know that Kissology's DVD compilations has been out. We are expecting Kissology number 4. We've been expecting that for the last 2 years, been put off. But the topic I want to say is this week, what concerts or what images would you like to see come to the light of day if they have not already done so?
Well, suppose the obvious one, Jamie, would have to be the one that everyone's sort of been, thinking about for even since Kissology 3 is Animalised Live Uncensored. I mean, it's been, nearly 30 years since that originally came out on VHS. It's about time that saw the light of day on DVD officially. I mean, there's been that bootleg version out of Brazil that you get all the subtitles on, but rather have the official copy of it from the band themselves. So maybe that as well. And if it's going to continue on from where Kissology 3 sort of finished off, maybe I think Kissology 3, if I remember rightly, finished around about 2001, 2002. So probably be looking at stuff from the Sonic Boom tour, Rock the Nations, and the World Domination Tour. So maybe was it the Rock Am Ring 2010 has to be on it. And I believe also that the last ever show at Cobo Hall was recorded for a later release, later use. So I'd say that would be on it. And that would be good to see as a historical value as well, because, I mean, being that it was the last ever show at Cobo Hall before it got knocked down, that would have to be on there as well. So that would be the ones that I'd like to see most on Kissology 4, as far as, yeah.
Just quickly, Dave, there has been a lot of bootlegs and a lot of recordings. I mean, Kiss has stated they recorded all their shows, but what other ones leading up into the 40 years that you love to see that you have not been able to see yet?
Well, as I said, the Glass Cabo Hall show, I'm desperate to see that. I actually ended up getting a copy of that when that show on CD when the Simfi Live, that when you're able to buy those concerts now. But I believe now that they're back with Universal, they've sort of stopped all that, and you can't. They don't do any of those concerts anymore. So I'd like to see the Glass Cabo Hall show from the Alive 35 Sonic Boom tour on Kissology 4 myself. Uh, yeah, and probably the Rock Am Ring show as well, because I've seen that on Foxtel and all that that is an awesome show, well recorded, sounds perfect. So yeah,
Well, what I'd personally like to see, Dave, is the very first Eric Carr performance at the New York Palladium when he was actually introduced.
Ah, yes, that one. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have heard it's been recorded, and I know there's a bootleg out it, but I love
Mm,
to see the official live performance come to the light of day. There
mm,
just has to be someone out there. I mean,
mm.
it's not about getting it; it's just finding the people who actually got the original copy.
Yeah. Or
And
even if the band has them, I'm sure the band has them. If that they have recorded that the band would have the original master copies themselves and
fun,
everything is there.
well, funny you say that. I've been someone said to me, "Or what about the 1977 LA Forum concert? There was, I think there was two or
Oh,
three.
Yeah, that was used for Kiss Alive too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently, Ace had any storage up at Connecticut before it was like a house.
Uh, yeah.
There was there's been
Uh,
rumors that there was a flood going around it, but he had the master tape of the LA Forum performance. But it
screwed
hasn't
it.
come to light of day. People have offered him some things to do with that, but he haven't done it.
I'm amazed that Gene and Paul haven't got that themselves.
True. I mean,
Yeah.
like I'm saying is the things that they probably don't have. It's trying to
Mm,
refine those things. I mean, we've
mm,
heard Gene said that, or even Paul, that they have been recording their shows since day one at the Coventry.
mm.
And why haven't we seen it? It's not about why we haven't seen it. It's just a matter of
Maybe
finding because
maybe the foot because I mean, remember when they did the first Kissology, they were talking about maybe some of the footage isn't through the Sands of Time, shall we say, hasn't fared well and all that. Maybe isn't up to the quality of putting it on a DVD, uh, which is maybe why some of this early footage hasn't come out yet as well. Maybe it's just not up to the standard it needs to be.
well, I do know with the Winterland concert, when you watch "Let Me Go Rock and Roll," it's cut
Mm,
out because there was a fire in the office where it was stored, and they had to retrace, and that's all they saved was that concert up to "Let Me Go Rock and Roll" because there was a big warehouse fire. This is where the films
mm,
were stored, and that
yeah.
film got damaged. That's why "Let Me Go Rock and Roll" was cut towards the end of the song because of the fire damage. I'd just like to know what else. I mean, they showed the Kobo Hall Live 1,
Yeah.
but with all these bonus discs that you had in Volume 1, 2, and 3, there was three, as you know, Dave, there were three
Mm,
bonus discs in each volume.
yeah.
Why couldn't we get the first night at Madison Square Garden on the actual DVD instead of being on the,
This is true. Yeah.
yeah.
Because I think that when they added I think it was at three where they gave the full show from the Coventry on the actual third disc, I think it was, or third or fourth disc. Maybe that should have been because obviously they tried to continue it within in sequence in year
Bonus
sequence.
disc
Maybe
and
that should have
Coventry.
say one of the others that was the bonus disc on Kissology 3, say uh, the one in Rio, one in Rio. Maybe that they could have swapped that around and had the Coventry show as a bonus disc instead.
I think the only disappointment that I had, I don't think it was in Volume 1. I know in Volume 2 and 3, I had a slight disappointment. Volume 2, some of the concerts, especially the Sydney 1980 concert, it
Mm.
wasn't the full concert. There was bits and pieces cut out, like the drum
Yeah,
solos for
that yeah.
God of Thunder and whatnot.
Mm.
But when you go to Volume 3, the first reunion tour night at Dodger
Mm.
Stadium, or Tiger Stadium,
Oh,
sorry.
that was spread over two discs, I think.
Oh no, the first one. It wasn't actually a pro shot. It was like it's been videotaped off the screen on the video screen because when Paul started to talk, just before that there was no lights. And
Mm.
then the song when Paul was talking, you couldn't see Paul, so it tells me that that was recorded off the side of the screen, not
Oh,
actually.
or maybe it was edited from the footage from those cameras that were used for those screens, and maybe that's why. And
What the reason why I said that, Dave, is because when
not.
Paul was talking, the lights
Mm.
were out,
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah,
and then
remember that one.
the
Yeah.
light will come back up when the
Mm.
song starts. And I'm thinking to myself, it looks like it was filmed off the side of a screen. That's the only disappointment that I had. But I like,
As I said, it's probably because it wasn't because it faded black, but maybe they used the 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 camera footage from those cameras, but when during the concert, maybe the cameras weren't on during the when they were talking in between songs, and maybe they just had the cameras on for the video screens whilst the songs were going. So maybe that's why you got the black black bits during in between songs on the actual DVD. That,
there's another one. We're talking about what we like to see to come to the light of day that we haven't seen. I
mm,
like to see the concert when you had a five-man Kiss, when you had Mark St. John and Bruce Kulick on the same stage together.
mm.
As we know,
Well,
some
maybe this is what I was thinking about after I was talking to when I asked you about what we're going to talk about today is also maybe thinking of Animalized Live Uncensored and the advent of the Blu-ray format. Maybe whether they could totally sort of remaster the Animalized Live Uncensored with 5.1 and all that, and maybe include some maybe even raw footage of that sort of era with maybe because believe Bruce said that Marks and John only played about one and a half to maybe two shows on that tour anyway,
and it
and
was recorded.
yeah,
If anyone got it, please hand it to Kiss because it's something that we haven't seen the light of
yeah,
day. I've seen some bootlegs on YouTube when it
yeah,
was on YouTube, some clips and that of Mark St. John. But the only thing that we've got out of the Kissology stuff was just a brief interview with Mark St. John. It was in one of the Easter eggs on Volume
yeah,
2.
yeah.
But
That was from here, an interview from here in Australia, I
yeah, it
believe.
was Molly Meldon who was
Yeah,
interviewing. And
yeah,
the thing was, like I said, the fans want to see Mark St. John on stage. If I know there's footage out there, but the thing is, it's trying to find these people who got these copies. And the
mm.
thing is,
Yeah, and good copies at that too.
and
That are
good copies. We don't want
yeah,
bootlegs. I mean, some bootleg copies are completely
crap.
atrocious, but
Yeah,
there have been some great bootlegs out there. But the management side of things, of the one that actually does film Kiss on stage,
mm,
there's got to be somewhere. There have to be
mm.
somewhere. But as we know, Kiss management's been changing and swapping from a coin day to what it is now. It's just trying to
With
find
Doc.
it.
Yeah,
It's just trying to find it. I mean, it's not
mm,
about who's got what. It's
mm.
trying to
Yeah,
find it.
yeah. I mean, as I said before, I mean, with some of the footage that uh, even the guys that was Brad Coletti, I think, and that did was involved with the original one. So I remember them saying that there's some stuff that they would have loved to have had on there on the even on the first one, but probably because of you know sands of time, it, that some of the footage hasn't fared well and all that, and it's deteriorated to the point where it probably wasn't sort of worthy of actually getting on there. It's just too bad, deteriorated to even put it on there. So you know, hopefully someone's got some good copies of some of the earlier stuff to put on there.
I truly believe someone does know who. It's just I don't know. I mean, I mean, there's another one that you know, Dave, and it has been up on YouTube. It's another concert for Monsters of Rock in '87 up in Germany.
Ah, the Schweinfurt show.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
when we look at it on our side of the, the countries and that, it'll be a
Mm.
bootleg for us, but it wasn't actually a bootleg for the European countries.
Yeah,
You
because
got to
they had
remember,
it on TV at the
yeah.
time.
And the thing is,
Mm.
they can add that in. Or what about another concert, David? Bruce Kulick first concert, full concert, not with Mark Twain, first full European
Yeah.
tour
Mm-hmm.
up at Donington when he went to
Uh,
Donington in England.
okay. Yeah, the first one. I was keep thinking about the Animalised Life Uncensored one. It's being around about his first, but then I think that was his first as an actually fully fledged member.
Yeah,
Because his birthday was a couple of days later, as we all know, and I think that was, and they did sort of tell him that he was in the band right around the time of his birthday. It was like a 2 day difference, I think, in between when he got told he was a fully fledged member of Kiss
yeah,
and having his birthday, and the actual recording of that Animalised Live Uncensored was just before that as well.
yeah. And it was just around the European tour. I think they went to Europe first and they came back to America or something like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
Mark St.
because
John was on stage and Bruce was off stage, and
mm,
vice versa. Bruce came and
yeah,
Mark was on because
yeah.
Bruce was. I did hear a while ago that his best memorable moment, Bruce's best memorable moment, was the Monsters of Rock at Donington,
Oh, okay.
and
I hadn't heard him say that one, but
I like to see that come out to the light of day, if that's true.
mhm.
Also, we don't
Also,
forget.
actually, the one uh, just shocked me. Speaking of the first shows, but maybe even the last show from Eric Carr,
I'm about to say
the
that.
Madison Square Garden show,
I was
November
about to
9th,
say that.
1990.
I was just
Uh,
about to say that because
yeah.
there is one. I think I posted one clip on my
Mm,
Facebook of the last song. I think it was Rock
mm.
and Roll All Night or Black Diamond. One of
Yeah,
those two.
no,
No, Rock and Roll All Night. It was.
rock and roll all night on that tour.
Yeah, that
Black
was on
Diamond, I think, was
just before the encore.
the, yeah, the first last one before the encore there.
And yeah, I I've been waiting to see that the full
Mm,
concert. You know, the full concert. And that's
yeah,
another thing, Dave. I want to see full concerts on Kissology. I don't
that,
want.
that
I
yeah, I
don't
agree
want.
with you there. Yeah.
I don't want stuff to be edited out. I mean, they've got enough disk space there,
Mm.
right? I mean, do we cut out all the interviews that they've done and just focus on the performances, or
Um,
do what they've done and just done the interviews and gone to Cadillac High School? I mean, that's all part of
oh,
the history.
that's yeah.
That's
So
all
I
part
mean,
of the history.
okay, need that all that stuff needs to be there. But another thing uh, that I would like to see besides concerts and all that is some of the video clips that maybe even on the last one, Kissology 3, I think maybe some of them should have been on there. So, like videos that weren't readily seen even here in Australia, like as well. Every time. Some of those rare videos, clips that we never got to see that maybe would I'd like to see on the Kissology um, box sets at some stage. So
Well,
yeah,
it's like this. It's like you're saying about video clips. I mean,
mm,
let's put the Acting Sex video clip up there, and You Make Me Rock Hard from Kiss
yeah,
Smashes, Scratches, and Hits.
mm,
Do we put Psycho Circus video clip up on there?
yeah.
Do we put
Oh, you yeah, that maybe I would have liked to have seen those ones in the last set, but even if that was a bonus disc, even to have it in there somehow, have some of the video because they did start even on the first one, even though they weren't proper video clips per se as what we had in the 80s and early 90s and all that, but we need to have those in there as well. Is there? I mean, they're part of the history of the band as well. Some of the ideas that they had.
Would it be
Mm,
fair to say to put something on the Kiss cruise on the next Kissology? Because we're up to the
yeah,
third one this year.
I mean, yeah,
Because they play more intimate stuff that we haven't heard before or
mm,
for a while.
mm.
And they do,
I mean,
I know,
at least touch on that as well. Come because I mean, even on this volume, because I mean they've only, I mean, as you said, up to the Cruise 3 coming up next year. Uh, pardon me. Um, yeah, that should maybe be in it as well. Some stuff from Kiss Cruise 1 and highlight that as well.
well, there's so much things out there.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
why don't we
yeah,
get why don't we get the Grand Prix performance that started off the Kiss Alive 35? I mean, you were there, Dave. You were saying they had the
yeah.
video crews then, and someone was recording it.
Well, I think that was more recorded for. It's been turn. Oh, I'm getting. Oh no, it's okay. It's all good. Just having trouble with the Skype stream there for a sec. But go back. Oh, I've lost my point there. But
Yeah, about the Kiss performance on the Grand Prix.
well, I think most of that was recorded. They were recording for the Kiss Area special. I know then. And also I think because there was I was right up in front of that show, and it had a notice saying, it's a notice say you will be sort of filmed for Gene Simmons' Family Jewels. So we were, it's also filming for Gene Simmons' Family Jewels at the Australian Grand Prix as well. So they did pro shoot some of it for a reason, but whether they got the whole show or not, is another thing. But at least maybe some of that footage could, even a song or two.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
there was, I believe Kiss played in Moscow as well on the Red
right.
Square. Why don't we get something that we haven't seen from another country like Russia?
Mm, yeah,
Um, I mean, we've got plenty from Sao
here,
Paulo and Argentina and
Australia.
Mexico and all that. Why don't we go to the places that they haven't
Mm,
released before, say like Russia or
mm.
Sweden or Norway or something
Or
from
Germany.
Milan in Italy,
Yeah,
because
I mean, I
yeah,
don't. That's maybe that's where the Rock am Ring can come into it, because I mean they've never released anything from Germany, and that Rock am Ring show for anyone that hasn't seen it is probably one of the best recorded shows I've seen from Kiss in a long time. Uh, I think that one will odds on that will be in Kissology 4
yeah.
when it does eventually come out. Um, but yeah, and also the Schweinfurt show from '88 would be another one that
Yeah.
have to be on there if you go on concerts from other countries that haven't been featured on DVDs from Kiss in the past.
Well, I think
Yeah.
trying to expand their territory a bit. I mean, could you put fairly common in or very
Probably
yeah
not as far
yeah.
as
I mean
it being a Kiss release, but
yeah yeah. I
I
mean
mean, maybe that would be for maybe a free release Comet release on its own, but
true.
that would be totally and entirely up to Ace himself, and Todd Howarth and John Regan, of course, but I wouldn't see that as being necessarily needed on an actual Kiss DVD itself.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean let's let's go back. I mean something from Asylum tour. Get
Well,
I mean
yeah.
the costumes what they were wearing.
Whether I don't think whether they've actually, I don't know whether they actually recorded many of those shows at all.
There's
or whether
plenty of
it's
audio tapes out there from
yeah.
concerts from the
I,
asylum tour.
I, I have heard some. I heard one from years and years ago. One from Chicago. 'Cause I remember they were doing a lot of songs like even White Christmas, and they during those days they would do cover of "Won't Get Fooled Again" by the
Yes,
Who during the show.
yes.
Um, but I don't think there's been a lot of really recording of those shows at all, except for maybe little bits that I think they had on one of them. But there's not a lot of quality footage of it of that
I
tour
don't think
anyway.
there's any stuff that's come to the light of day except for the video clips for
Mm.
Asylum.
Uh,
But
except for that, yeah, there's been little clips here and there, but nothing of quality from the Asylum tour
yeah,
at all.
there are some, like I said, there are some bootleg
Mm,
video clips from
mm,
the Asylum tour. Like you said, you who won't get fooled again. There's a video
mm,
clip on YouTube.
mm.
For me, it's not the great quality, but
No,
just to
and that's why it hasn't and probably will never be on a Kiss DVD because there's nothing unless they've got something really hidden in the vault that it'll probably the Asylum tour stuff won't see the light of day.
yeah. But see, the thing is, when I saw that clip on YouTube, won't get fooled again. Like I said, it wasn't a great quality, but just to experiment what it actually looked like. I mean, they had a giant Kiss logo,
Yeah.
as you well know. They've
Mm.
had logos, but this one looked like a complete skyscraper. This logo on the Asylum tour,
Oh
and
yeah. Oh yeah. I remember. Yeah, I remember that one.
it was that huge,
It's freaking huge.
and that but yeah, something from Asylum. Can we get a full length copy from the Lick It Up tour? I mean,
Yeah. Or
we had stuff on
again.
Kissology 2 from Portugal, but that wasn't a full
Yeah.
thing. It was just the
Yeah.
first thing.
It
But
was.
there's
It
a
was first showing make out of makeup.
well, there is a full concert on YouTube from Montreal for the Lick It Up.
Yeah, that, but that's again that's
A bootleg.
single audience shot bootleg.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any pro shot except for the Portugal thing that looks more pro
Well,
shot. But
even that too. That Portugal one wasn't
mm,
great quality.
nah, not to like some of the older, even the older ones from 1976, 77. Some of those were better than the Portugal one, and again, it all comes down to quality of the footage as to whether it'll actually make its way onto a DVD or Blu-ray now.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Blu-rays, you got it. You can put it into 5.1 and and have it at 1080p video quality anyway. So maybe it's because that some of the older footage, even from the Asylum era, won't see the light of day on a DVD.
Well, like I said, there's so much quality out there. Just
Mm.
trying to find it.
Mm.
I mean, not the people. I mean, people can have bootlegs,
Yeah.
copies and that, but to find good quality pictures and screenshots and whatnot,
Mm.
and obviously these people don't want to give it away for free. They'll probably be asking for a large figure of sum of money.
Oh, yeah. Whether and that's
Copies
if
of it,
the
yeah.
team
Or,
would be able to just acquire them anyway, uh, because it is their. I mean, their image, and they have the right to acquire them through legal means if they need to for no money at all, or you know, no money outlay on their side. So
Well, there's another concert, and I know it was on the bonus discs on Volume 3, the
mm.
Madison Square Garden reunion concert.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yes,
You know,
uh,
I mean, the funny thing about it, I know it was a good thing and a good idea to bring three different bonus discs for each volume,
mm.
but couldn't we at least just bung it into just one catalogue without going out and buy three separate? I mean, it's good for collectors' point of view.
But I think that's got more got. They did that because I think each of the outlets that they put that out through, like Walmart, FYI,
Yeah,
and all wanted different sort of bonus footage as well,
yeah.
because I think that's why
Like
that all came
you got
about
the
as well.
Japanese, yeah, it's like you got the
Yeah,
Japanese bonus disc on Volume Two from the
mm.
'88 concert at Budokan.
Yeah, to
Um,
take out. Yeah,
I think different
now
countries had
then.
different countries had different bonus discs. I mean,
No, not really. I think it was had more to do with
the
the
retail.
outlets that they
Yeah,
put them out with in America. So I know they've put it out through Walmart, FYI, and I forget the other one. Uh, uh, Mr. John Wicker, our friend John Wicker, would know more about that.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
remember.
there was three different outlets that they put them out with. Each had their own different bonus disc.
Well, I remember going into Big W. It was
Mm,
similar to Walmart over for
mm,
American and Canadian
yeah,
listeners, and it had a plastic. It's like a normal DVD cover
mm, yeah,
in Big W. But if you go to a local music store, say JB Hi-Fi or in the old just closed down Muses, they'll have the cardboard hardcover,
mm,
right? And you can tell the difference which one. Well, normally you used to be able to tell which bonus disc is in that copy without even opening it.
yeah, yeah.
But it was just the luck of the draw. I mean, you go into one store, they'll just have that bonus
So I
disc.
think Australia, when they were bought out separately here in Australia, we didn't get the whole different bonus disc thing. It was just basically they chose one bonus disc each, of the bonus discs each for Australia, and I forget which. To be honest, I'd have to go back and look at the catalogue now to see which ones we got, but uh, the whole three bonus discs was more of an American thing with the three outlets that they put it out through
Mm,
in America. So each of those outlets wanted something different as a bonus disc to the other.
yeah.
Um, so that's why the whole different bonus disc thing happened in the first place
Mm.
with all the volumes.
Well, another thing too, Dave. In Volume One, Kissology
Mm.
Volume One, they
Yeah.
had Kiss Meet the Phantoms or Attack of the Phantoms, the movie,
Yep.
the
Hmm.
telemovie. Oh, not Volume One, Volume Two. Sorry, Volume Two.
Yep.
Should they come out with Detroit Rock City on Kissology number four?
Mm, probably not. I'd say I'd keep Detroit Rock City as a separate thing on its own. Because probably more Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park or Kiss Attack of the Phantoms was released it was a tele movie
Yeah,
first off, whereas Detroit Rock City was a major feature film.
yeah,
Uh, that Detroit Rock City should be separate on its own, and I mean I've got the American copy of it as well, where you get all the different bonus interviews
yeah. I've got that
and
too.
and and they had the guy teaching you how to play rock and roll all night as well.
Mm.
But maybe that if that's to be released again, maybe that
Which
needs
I'm
to be on
sure
its
it
own.
will.
Will get released on Blu-ray soon. That's another thing with this talk of all stuff on Kissology that there's no Kiss DVDs or anything being that we know of at the moment being released as a Blu-ray release again,
No.
being remastered and as a Blu-ray.
Yeah, I mean, the quality that I have seen, I mean, I've
Mm.
seen a clip that was changed to Blu-ray with Sure Knows Something. The quality of that video clip of
Yeah,
the Sure Knows Something, crystal clear. I
yeah,
mean, it's almost that you can actually touch it and feel it and
mm.
be in that experiment.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
technology is expanding. Everything's
mm.
gone
Mm.
now into Blu-ray and now 3D or 4D and
Mm.
whatnot. But yeah,
Uh,
you're right, Dave. We actually haven't got a complimentary DVD release that has
or
been out in Blu-ray. I mean, we haven't got Kiss Exposed or Kiss
or
Confidential or
rock
Kiss My
rock
Heart.
the Rock
Rock
the
the Nation.
Nations
Yeah.
live could be. I reckon could be the first one. I would that would be the first one I put out as a Blu-ray concert because they could remix all the audio from that to do it in five. Or it's actually in 5.1. It is, but make it good enough for a Blu-ray release. Maybe some Blu-ray exclusive footage,
Yeah.
which a lot of Blu-rays are doing now. Is have exclusive Blu-ray content as a bonus because you can do so much more with the Blu-ray as far as capacity and quality of footage that you're able to put more stuff on it. So
I, we're saying that with the quality, and we're talking about the Kissology. I mean, they didn't really touch much on the reunion, on the main reunion interview they had on that Enterprise with
yes, the press conference on the
yeah, the
USS
press
Intrepid.
conference.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it on YouTube, the full
Mm,
press conference in two
yeah.
parts, but
Yeah.
they didn't really touch anything on
Mm,
that press conference. They just basically skipped a few major sequences. I mean,
major
you did get
parts of it.
a little bit on the home video Second Coming because that was based
Yeah.
on the
That
reunion
was
tour.
yeah, that was all based on the reunion tour. Yeah.
But it's not shown in the full catalog, the full recording
It,
of it.
yeah.
I mean, it's part of history. I mean,
Mm.
but would fans want to see that? That's the thing.
I mean,
You want to
people maybe have already. Uh,
you want to be able to sell it
yeah.
not just to the Kiss fans, well, the Kiss fans will buy it, but what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say to
It's
expand the marketing,
yeah.
to other rock fans who not
Yeah.
really a major Kiss fan, but they love rock in general. And if they trying to experiment or trying to um, just try to explore the history of Kiss. Maybe that interview or that press conference for the reunion tour,
Yeah.
and then that would get them probably to go back and into time and trying to dig out. I'm talking about
Mm.
the fan, of course.
Yeah.
Go back and dig out what they can find. I mean, yes, YouTube is the greatest resource now on the internet, but what about the
Mm-hmm.
people that don't have internet? What about the people
Oh,
that don't have
yeah.
that? You need
Yep.
another resource to go out and try to find it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not hard to find, but
Yeah.
music stores now here in Australia hardly got any Kiss related stuff.
It's mainly it's a lot of mum and dad stores and all that. I mean, you can order it through there, but a lot of buying now of DVDs, CDs. I mean, I buy a lot of uh, you know music and all that online myself, and I'd rather do that than uh, download stuff now. But a lot of people buy stuff online now as opposed to shops as as well. So people always look online for that sort of stuff as well. But yeah, I can see your point. A lot of people don't have internet, but a lot of people do these days. Yeah. So
And
yeah,
not only that, Dave, it's just basically if they don't have an internet, mainly their friends or relatives will have an
yeah,
internet, and
yeah. They can always get it if they hear about it or
well,
that as well.
the thing is, compared to us to what America had in the
Mm,
80s,
mm,
they had a lot more stuff than we had. I mean,
mm. Even now.
or even now. But the
Mm,
thing is, like I was trying to say to you before, David, that
mm.
there's some stuff that we've got that they find it
Hard to
hard
get. Yeah.
hard to get because the thing is, when the Kiss came in '95, they had the first official Kiss convention that started the reunion tour later on when they went
Mm,
back to America and they've got Peter, and then it went on to
mhm,
MTV Unplugged with Peter and Ace. But that
mhm,
whole thing started to snow ball when they came to Australia. I mean, they brought this, as you know, the Kiss convention. It was like
Yeah.
a mini museum, a Kiss museum.
Yep.
Played. They had the Kiss convention the night before they play the Kiss concert. So basically, you're spending
Yeah.
24. They had
Yeah.
multiple dates, 48 hours with Kiss.
Mm. Mhm.
But I remember I had to pay $100 in Perth to go and
It
see.
was I think it was 105 from
Yeah,
memory here. It's actually originally speaking of that tour. I mean, I'd only got tickets to the three shows here. Well, what was Flinders Park Tennis Centre then, uh, now known as Rod Laver Arena. Um, but I hadn't got the actual ticket to the convention yet. Actually, to, to tell you, I got the actual ticket to the convention off a friend of mine. He'd bought it, but said, "Oh, I'm not going there. Do you want to go? You can have it." So he ended up giving me this ticket to the show. I ended up paying him later on, but yeah,
but I just going back to Kissology. I like to have like a complimentary
mm,
of the Kiss convention that actually started here from Australia in
yeah,
Perth, and the
yeah,
other bits and bobs from different
mm,
places as the
mm,
as that focus.
yeah,
And I remember when they were talking about the MTV when they started that, they had bits and pieces of how they got Peter involved with the Unplugged, and he was at the New York Kiss convention. But
yeah,
they don't really go anything beyond that. I mean, they've been to LA with the Kiss convention and all these other
mm,
places in America and
mm,
that, but very rarely, and even till today, but
mm.
they hardly ever say that it started here in Australia.
No, well, they don't. There's, because we had it in 90,
Five,
early 95, February of 95.
yeah,
Uh,
95 was in Perth.
yeah,
I was there.
uh,
I went. That was my first Kiss concert in Perth.
yeah. Well,
I went.
same. Well, the actual
Well,
convention was for me
the
is the
Kiss
first time I met
convention
him.
was on a the Kiss convention was on a Saturday night. The Perth concert
Mm,
was on a Sunday night,
yeah,
or I think it's Friday, Saturday, one of the two. But the thing
yeah,
is, they're at the Hyatt Hotel in Perth, and they blocked it off for that Kiss convention. But what you got was a great thing, and I'm just surprised they actually haven't done like a complimentary release of Kiss convention of different places they've been to leading up to the
yeah,
MTV Unplugged.
yeah.
I mean,
But
I see.
that would have maybe if I don't know if they're going to release MTV Unplugged that they can go and have it on as a Blu-ray release, whether they go expand into that a little bit more and actually acknowledge a bit more about the conventions that they did here.
Yeah,
Uh, but they expanded on. They had, I mean, obviously the original idea they had to do it down here. And then when they went back to America and did it, they expanded on it a bit more
well,
than
they
what
were
they
actually
did
doing
here.
more. They were actually doing like these Kiss expos before the
Yeah,
Kiss, because you can't. Excuse me. You're not allowed to use the word expo. It's been copyrighted. You're allowed to use expos, but that's what the fans were doing leading up and to the
probably
creation
where the
of the
original
Kiss.
idea, original idea for Kiss came from is actually those expo slash conventions that fans would have
Yeah,
in America and around the world and even here.
but
Uh,
there's so much, like I said, with the convention trying to put in it. There's so many audio recordings and CDs from different conventions. I used to have
yeah,
one from Melbourne, one from Sydney,
there
the um,
there was some. I mean, because you're allowed. I mean, you're allowed to film everything up until when they Kiss actually played did the acoustic set. You're allowed to film. You weren't allowed to film the actual Kiss performing themselves.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, but although there is footage of some of the so people doing it, but
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, there's very rare stuff that hasn't really come to light and day for
no.
Kissology. I mean, the almost touched everything. They almost have. I mean,
Except for maybe stuff from in more recent years that from
I mean,
yeah
I've got a,
post Kissology 3.
I've got a DVD here, and it was from Argentina. It was from the Sonic, not the Sonic Boom. It was from the Psycho Circus tour, and from Argentina,
Oh yes, yes, I remember the Buenos Aires. Yeah, yeah.
right?
Mm.
But the thing is, video quality, great. Sound quality, crap.
I mean, they could always try to boost the sound up. It depends on how really I mean, I have seen that one in myself, but whether they can actually work it up enough and fix it up enough to make it worthy to put on a on a official release. Anyway, that's depends on how bad the sound is and whether they're able to sort of fix it up to be good enough to release.
True. I mean, what about the VH1 Rock Honors?
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, I mean, obviously that I reckon could be included on Kissology 4. Uh,
Because
so
they did come on to play with the All Star band with Rob Zombie
yeah,
and
they
Tommy Lee and that. Could they
because
include him in that?
they could, but they probably most probably only include the actual Kiss performance. I mean, we did see Detroit Rock City, and I think
Love Gun.
Love Gun,
Yep.
but they each band I think did the bands featured did do 3 songs. So there's one song from each band that we didn't get to see on the actual broadcast. So there, I believe uh, I think they did do Juice as well as a third song, but which never got put to air.
I'm hearing they did about 5 or 6 songs all up. That's including
Yeah,
Kiss performance.
yeah, there was, yeah, as I said, there was songs from that Rock Honors that weren't put to air, um, and because I did read about it later on after that, because uh, yeah, and I'm pretty sure one of them was they did Juice, but they only aired Love Gun and Detroit Rock City um, as for the actual broadcast. Uh, and so that's another thing that could really sort of be put on there because it's good enough
Yep.
footage.
Oh, here's another thing. We're going, like I mentioned earlier in the show, about interviews that were part of history.
Mm.
I love to see the Donahue interview with Peter Chris about the hoax that when the guy was a homeless guy and
Mm.
they thought he was living under the bridge, and Peter Chris walked on the set, and I think you know about this, Dave. We
Mm.
spoke about
Yeah,
it a few weeks ago.
I've seen the footage. Yeah,
I'd love to see that. I
that was a
mean,
sad
I'd
thing.
love to see that again. I'd love to see that put in, whether or
Again,
not they'll do it or not.
yeah,
You know,
again, it's probably a thing that's not. I mean, it's supposed part of history because it was Peter Chris, but whether again, where it's I because it's Peter Chris and that he's no longer in the band, whether then they'd have whereas yeah, because it's not really a Kiss thing
mm.
per se because it's more to do with Peter Chris himself
Well, they
than,
interviewed
than
Peter Chris when he left the band without
yeah,
makeup, but it was his
with his back turned to
yeah.
the camera. Yeah.
But there's another
Uh,
one I have seen who was on the Tom Snyder show after he
Mm,
left Kiss, and he
yeah.
showed his face with a full beard and that.
Yeah.
And then it comes on Donahue, who's got blonde, bleached hair,
Yeah.
and the homeless person that made the hoax
Yeah.
and that. I mean, Lydia Chris was on that show too.
Yeah. She phoned in, I believe. Yeah, she
Yeah.
phoned in. Yeah.
So, me being a fan, I'll just love to see it.
Yeah.
You know, I'll love to see it, but you don't go to the minority. You got to see what the majority wants.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
I'll love to see everything that they've done, whether
Yeah.
interviews,
I
concerts,
think
and
we
blah
all.
blah. But
Mm,
this particular thing that happens in the mid to late '80s on the Donahue
mm,
show
yeah.
and whatnot, me personally, I would love to see that, but
Right.
Would the majority want to see that?
Uh, Probably, probably not really, to be honest. I mean, if Donahue brought out a best of the Donahue shows, so I think that would be where I'd probably see that going. But as far as being released, but I probably wouldn't see that as part of a Kiss release itself.
Hmm.
Stuff interviews I'd like to see probably some of the Arsenio Hall stuff from '92, where the Kiss actually performed on. It was during the Revenge tour. They did
The
a
club tour.
yeah the club tour, and they actually performed on the Arsenio Hall show. They did, I think, Detroit Rock City. Um, and a couple of others I can't remember offhand. They did get interviewed on that show, so that's
I actually
maybe that sort of stuff I'd like to see.
you said that
Interviews
about
like that.
sorry, Dave. Sorry,
Yeah,
mate.
no, go ahead, Jamie.
You mentioned about the club gig for the Revenge tour. I actually had some CD, audio
Mm.
CD. I mean, the reason
I've,
why I'm
yeah,
saying
I've,
used to have this, the reason why listeners, the reason why I say I used to have this and used to have that, I had a lot of stuff stolen back in 2001 after the farewell.
yeah, I remember you telling me all this.
I
Yeah.
had all these audio
Mm,
stuff like from the Revenge days.
mm,
When they were playing in the clubs, I had three different club gigs on audio.
yeah.
I had the Asylum tour
There's the
over
one.
in Europe somewhere where I think he was talking, Paul Stanley was talking about Michael Jackson and Love Gun.
Yeah.
He also did that in Animal Lives. We're talking about his Love Gun and Michael Jackson and all that. But I had all these things. I had all these things, and funny you say that that reunion, no, not the reunion, the Revenge club gigs were
Mm,
bootlegs on videos as well. That's been,
yeah.
but I'm with you, Dave. I'd
Yeah.
love to see all these stuff that comes out. I mean,
Mm, yeah.
they used a keyboard player too on Hot in the Shade for the Revenge club tigs.
There's rumors that that was actually Derek Sherinian, that later on joined Dream Theater uh, for a while. And he actually recently, I just saw him again on the. I just was watching some Black Label Society,
Mm.
and he turned up on that. Uh, so he's been working with different bands since, but it was believed that it was rumored to have been Derek Sherinian that did the keyboards on during Hot and Shade, and even as far back as the Crazy Nights tour, I think, where Bruce looks like he's actually playing the keyboards, but he actually isn't.
On
And he's later admitted that himself. He wasn't actually playing it. They had a guy off stage who was actually playing the keyboards, and he would just sort of pretend to play keyboards. And it was rumored that that guy was actually Derek Sherinian, who, as I said later, joined Dream Theater and all that. And actually does look like Paul a bit uh, as well.
um,
He actually used to play with Alice Cooper there for a while as well. But
hmm,
yeah, so they did have keyboard guys every now and again.
yep. I mean, there's so much stuff out there that
Mm.
people have got that want to see the light of day. I mean, do we get the Largo concert, which was on the bonus disc of Volume Two?
The full
Yeah, the
one
full
from
concert. I mean, but
1977. Yeah.
as saying that, it wasn't the greatest concert they ever done because Peter
No.
Chris couldn't even really sing a note.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's probably why
that's probably
it did.
why. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think that was to show that they had a bit of a bust up before the concert.
No, no,
No,
there's
sorry,
one.
after the concert, there was a bit of a bust up in the back, and I'm, I was told this that whether it was Paul or Gene or whatever had a fight with Ace, but and Peter because it was like two good guys against the bad guys basically, and it just went around in circles. And the story came out that Paul stepped in and said, "That's it, band's over," you know.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was the Largo. It was on the Dynasty tour anyway. It was on the Dynasty tour, and there was a
Uh-huh.
massive, massive. It was
Yeah,
something
because
that was
there's one. there's one of the. I remember. I can't remember. It was Houston '77 or one of the. Yeah, it might have been one of the Dynasty shows. You could hear after one of the songs, in between the songs, where it was either Peter or Paul that you can hear him just go nuts
Hmm.
over the microphone and between songs. Can't remember what exactly what he was said, but it sort of have a crack at each other in between songs on one of those shows, and
It's
they
funny you
so
said that, Dave. They've been
yeah,
having cracks and cheap shots at each other, but
yeah.
the most infamous one was his farewell concert here in Australia
Oh
when they were doing the
yes,
jam session.
I was actually at this one. It was
Yeah,
the very last show in Melbourne.
yep. And we was
Uh,
in Sydney as well first night too.
yeah, it was actually in the last. As I believe, I think we were the last show on the tour. It was actually, and Ace kept wanting to play. I think it was New York Groove.
Hmm.
It wasn't originally meant to be part of that jam session, and he kept wanting to play. And then Jane just cracked the wobblies and said, "And here's the Ace Frehley show over here."
Yeah.
And
Well,
but he wanted, to be honest, Ace wasn't. Let's just say Ace wasn't at his best at that time. I did hear, you know, rumors around about him at the casino and all that on
I
that
heard a
tour.
different rumor, Dave, and this is coming from the drummer that was in the band.
Mr. Erickson, yes.
Yeah, I heard something. Oh, okay. Let me tell you, it wasn't quite pleasant, but it was the most funniest thing I ever saw because the Sydney concert when I was there, he sounded like a chipmunk.
Yeah.
If you could just put your perspective, if you think, I'm not going to say to the listeners,
Uh,
if I'll,
I can get where you're going. Yeah.
yeah, and no, he didn't have the flu that night, and
Yeah.
but the thing is, he'd done the same thing up in Sydney on night one, but when he started to play the riff of Rocket Ride,
Mm,
I think that's what probably hit the nail in the coffin because that was on the B side of Alive 2, of the fourth side of Alive
mm,
2. But it was awesome. I mean, I reckon that should come to the light of day. It is on YouTube if you want to see it, listeners.
yeah.
There's a great
That
clip
pro-
that Gene Bitten the Dummy said, now, what the H. Fraley band would do next? And something like that.
but then again, they're not exactly going to put out uh, footage of them having fights and
No, but
no.
it was just a thing just to see. I mean, Ace, he was he was the one that got the the sound and
Mm,
that thing, and Gene's just looking at him like a complete imbecile. Oh, sorry, not imbecile, a complete. I don't know. He must have not had any sex that night. That's what it looked like, right? But the thing
okay.
is, sorry, Gene, you're my fan and all that, but the thing is,
You're his
you
fan.
gotta break the ice a bit. Have a laugh now and
Yeah.
again, because
But
the thing is, you can't really take Kiss too seriously. But the look on Gene's face, it's like, oh, the spotlight's been taken off me, and I don't like Ace to have it. Ace was basically just jamming around, and here's Paul just looking at
mm,
both Ace and players like, what the frick's going on here?
mm,
But whether that comes out to the light of day, who knows?
mm,
But the one thing
I'd
I would
say that
love to see also, and I don't know if anybody has actually got this, it's a concert where Ace Frehley gets electrocuted.
that what did he say that was? Because he was actually talked about that on his Ace Frehley Behind the Player DVD, Albuquerque or somewhere like that. Uh, but yeah, that would be interesting. But
I don't
even
think
if it showed that short clip of him, what had happened, but
Yeah, I don't think
yeah,
there's actually any footage. I think there's
I
only
don't
little
think there
bits.
is.
I only think there's only bits and pieces of photos when he's laying on the
Yeah.
stage and that.
Mm.
But maybe they can do a little 1 minute to an hour, a minute and a half talk section, just showing him coming down the ramps and getting electrocuted, and that's how
Yeah.
Shock Me got started, and blah blah blah.
Mm.
Because the thing is, there's just so much stuff I like to see. I mean, they focused a little bit on. Well, they did. They focused on Japan, Budokan in 76, 77. They did that. They did a whole talk about the first half of Volume 2 was
Yeah.
Australia, how they invaded Australia, and they had
Yeah.
Countdown on that.
Yeah.
And
And
they had
Sydney.
Norman Gunston on there, and then they had the
Yeah.
Sydney concert and
Mhm.
whatnot. But I got one thing that's came up just after the Alive album came out. They went to Europe
Mhm.
and they had Detroit Rock City, Shout It Out Loud, King of the Nighttime World, and I probably think God of Thunder. But
Mm.
they performed that in their live costume, not the not the Destroyer costume.
There is footage and there is footage from that European. I think it's in Germany.
Maybe in London as well.
Of them playing Detroit Rock City in the Kissology costumes.
Yeah.
Uh, it was part of an interview uh, thing that they showed it, but there's no. I don't know whether they record the whole show again on that tour, but yeah, at least have even if they had the whole song on its own,
Hmm.
uh, have that as part of like bonus footage or something on one of the DVD or even Kissology
They played
itself.
they played it in the Kiss costume at the Hammersmith in London as well,
Yeah.
and I would love to get that. I'd love to
Mm,
see that come to the light of day. The one in
mm,
Hammersmith when they played Detroit Rock City, and I think shouted out loud in the live costume.
mm.
It was basically Detroit Destroyer was in the process of being um, finalised. They'd already
Yeah.
sent it
To
off,
be.
but they
Yeah.
still had the costumes. But yeah, why not have that come out to the light of day?
Yeah. It's probably it would be nice to see all this stuff. Yeah, it goes back to the whole, with the sound time and being that's nearly 40 years ago now, whether some of the footage is actually sort of deteriorated and enough to not warrant it being able to put it on a DVD or release or something. It just all depends on how it's fared over time. It's, yeah, unfortunately, it's with the older the footage, then maybe depends on how it fares. Norris, mate.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you, Dave. The, the greatest thing is we will just never get enough of Kiss. I
No,
mean,
there's never going to be enough of them.
you know, but I think because we've got the technology out with the
Mm.
Blu-ray and the
Yeah, it'd be
stream.
nice to just to have some of the older DVD releases
Hmm.
put to Blu-ray. Uh, just to have it there as a for the people who buy Blu-ray stuff now, like myself. I've just started getting a lot of Blu-ray. I just bought the AC/DC Let There Be Rock one yesterday, which I'll be looking at later. But then that's another band for another conversation. But
So,
yeah, it'd be nice to have some Kiss stuff on Blu-ray as well.
so Dave, what do you think the listeners should do on our Facebook page? What question would you like to ask them if they're
Ooh,
listening to this one?
what question? What as far as costumes go, where do you think that they could go with the costumes next? What sort of designs would you love to see as far as as far as costumes maybe, or as or what sort of uh, like I suppose gimmicks as far as staging can go, where they can take the stage show in the future. I
Hmm.
mean, as Gene said, maybe the band's only got 5 to 10 years left in them. You know, what's their really big stage, bigger than what they've done before, and what ideas that they maybe have that they'd like to see in the stage show.
I don't want to open up an old can of worms, especially when you're talking about the costume design and what they want to do, because a lot of fans just want Eric and Tommy
Tommy to have their own.
name design, but
Mm.
that's old. That's an old debate, and
Yeah,
it's
I
kids.
know.
It's
I,
kids. But the thing is, what I like to see. Well, my question will be is, what would you like to see coming out on the next volume, or what video recordings would you like to see? What concerts would they like to see that they haven't seen yet come to the light of day?
Mhm.
Because the thing is, 40 years that's a fucking long time. But the thing is, with with the new era now, they've got probably 5 to 10 years left in them. This I call this the new era, probably the last chapter, probably. Yeah, I'll probably wish it, Dave. Would they want to go in a different direction of their costume designs?
Or even with the stage show itself, where can they
Well,
go next?
now they've got the spider in Europe,
Mm,
and
yeah,
and
but
then
apparently, speaking of that, some of the shows haven't been actually using the spider lighting rig. Uh, a couple, half the shows haven't even had it.
yeah, there's a couple there due to
Mm.
whether I think
Or whether
the one in Berlin, the
mm,
outdoor concert in Berlin, they didn't use it there. I've heard
mm.
it malfunctioned or it went to sleep. The spider went to sleep.
I think that was supposed to be the same show that Paul supposedly got um,
Injured.
injured, but he's since come out and said that was a load of bull dust. Um, yeah, so whether it did actually malfunction, and that shows another thing as well, because he didn't say whether it did or not. But
So yeah, listeners, we're just about to wrap up. Yeah, the questions again. What was the question, Dave? What costume designs or costume?
what costumes, design ideas would you like to see them go with next?
And
As far
also,
as as there will be another album, I suppose, being that they've still got around another 5 to 10 years left in them, so they probably will do another album after Monster.
yeah,
Uh,
and also, what concept they'd like to see come to the light of day on Kissology.
on
So those are two questions, and we'll put them on the group page up on Facebook once in the next couple of days. Those questions as well. Dave, it's been a pleasure,
No worries, Jamie.
and
Speak,
listeners,
listeners.
keep listening to us, and we'll be back.
We don't need